Women's Power to Heal Mother Earth. I am Maya to worry. One mythical bird, several wings, although this is no myth, but the monstrous reality of the governance of our planet. While we're being kept distracted with pseudo wars between US, Russia, and China, the state heads of these nations are colluding behind the scenes, unified in one agenda. All three are signatories to the UN agenda for Project 2030. Russia and China align with the exact same digital goals as the West. We are not on the verge of a nuclear war or alien invasion. The real battle is here. Project 2030. We must awaken and rise to safeguard human privacy, freedom, and consciousness. While being distracted by the borders of separation, they're skillfully casting a net around us. We're being systematically corralled into a cage. Project 2030 is the most elevated global agenda of colonization, wherein we are being gathered as assets of world governance. We must, if we are to survive, reclaim our sovereignty. Our history of colonization is still the functioning agenda, except it has advanced beyond the beyond of geopolitical control strategies. Earlier, the colonizers' insatiable appetite centered on degrading and profiting ancient sovereign nations. For instance, at the Berlin Conference in 1884-1885, with Britain and France at its helm, 15 European countries set out to dissect the continent of Africa into 55 nations. Arbitrary borders were drawn, disregarding cultural tropes. They established boundaries without African consent or regard for ethnic, linguistic, or social structures. Separated tribes and combined hostile groups, leading to lasting ethnic strife and political violence. With France coveting $500 billion each year in colonial taxes from Africa, the wealth stolen from plundering Africa would exceed to more than $50 trillion to date. As colonization continued, Britain protected its imperialistic agenda by dividing India into two countries. Creating Pakistan was a decisive move to counteracting a potentially strong unified India. Pakistan was also the ally it needed to protect Western interests. The region of Pakistan is the bridge toward oil-rich regions in Iraq and Iran. In implementing the Radcliffe Line, they split provinces, districts, rivers, homes, leading to one of history's largest human migrations, with roughly 14 million people displaced and over 1 million killed in communal violence. By the time they left India, they had plundered and stolen more than 42 trillion pounds from her. Now to Project 2030. We're witnessing colonization up-leveled to a grander scale, a more insidious global mission, a methodology sharpened to control your psyche, your conscious human entity, by rendering you a digital asset in the grand schema of things. The cast net that is hovering over our heads goes unnoticed because our attention is fastened to the prefabricated chaos, scandals, wars, and alien invasion threats. The truth is, we're being herded, harnessed as commodities of the deep state. They tell you the digital infrastructure being built is for planetary sustainability and for your safety. But look at the architecture of the cage. In September 2024, the Pact for the Future, a landmark agreement designed to accelerate Agenda 2030, was ratified by 193 nations at the United Nations. The gist of the narrative that is to modernize global governance, tackle AI, peace and climate change, and to ensure long-term sustainability. The raw truth is that the Agenda 2030 isn't a plan for climate change or sustainability. It is the blueprint for a technocratic system of control. By 2030, the deep state intends to manage every facet of human behavior by implementing a centralized digital grid. They want to manage their most precious asset, that is you, but not the conscious sovereign humanity of you, rather the digitalized version of you. We become their data points. Here is what is at the core of this agenda. We're being ferreted into smart cities where movement is tracked and energy is rationed. They want total resource management, a record of every bite you eat, every mile you move, and every penny you spend via central bank digital currencies. At present, 130 plus nations are finalizing the CBDCs, which is the programmable code, pilot programs in the UK and EU for carbon-restricted wallets. Adopted at the 2024 Pact for the Future, this codifies interoperable data governance, and it ensures your health record, bank accounts, and travel history all talk to each other. This pact also established an international scientific panel on AI to set consensus standards, and anything outside of this narrative is flagged as misinformation and scrubbed. By 2030, there will be no dark spots where the people can exist outside the system. And if you don't comply with being encaged, you may be abandoned in a designated red zone. The Internet of Bodies use 6G to handle low latency tracking of your biology. They're moving surveillance from the street to your bloodstream. We can stop this catastrophic action, Project 2030, only if we align in awareness, flooding our inner field with light energy of higher frequency, to weave an impenetrable armor of energetic protection for humanity. For this we must come together, not as separate egos, but in one consciousness. This is our immutable power, and the one that is most feared by the deep state. We are 8 billion strong against the predatory 100. Thank you for listening, and peace be your journey.